Greetings, comrades! Today we are preparing meatballs again, another variety. We have quite a lot varieties of meatballs on the channel, and you may imagine that we Slavs would love meatballs, and you'll be 100% right. So today I'll be showing you another classic recipe from the Babushka arsenal. I know that fricassee is very different in other countries and other cultures, but we call this dish Kofteta Frikase or Meatballs Fricassee, and to be honest, I'm not really sure why we call it that way.
Щото баба ти казва така.
Typically these meatballs are prepared in some kind of a broth, and after that this broth is augmented and thickened by a yogurt mixture. And I can say the end result is quite intriguing. And I'm not sure why, but all Slav children love that, and some of them want to eat only that. When you prepare them, make sure to dip in the sauce with some nice bread for best results. I would say white bread or maybe sourdough.
С селски хлебец и най-добре.
Optionally, you can try it with some potatoes on the side or some pasta variety, it will also be nice. And now, if I have your curiosity, let's go to see how to prepare these meatballs with a yogurt sauce. The Slav shopping list for today includes a carrot, an abnormally huge onion, a green stick of that, also known as celery, minced meat, you can go with any type as always, but I'm using pork, at least 20% fat. I have a kilogram here. Some breadcrumbs for meatball forming, chicken stock, if you have available, can be replaced with water, some yogurt, I use the regional Bulgarian one, 2 eggs, 4 to 5 tablespoons of flour, salt, summer savory and pepper to make everything taste good. As we have the products, let's prepare the meatballs. At first we need to prepare our vegetables, starting with the carrot. No huge preparations here, just clean it and peel it. Prepare green sticks by cleaning them a little bit. Also peel your onion and start cutting it. I'll do small cubes, the smaller the better in this case. By the way, if you want to reduce tears from onion, just throw it in the freezer for 10 minutes and you should be fine. After that, finally cut the celery too.
Той може и без него да ви кажа.
It deserves at least that. Don't try to do this as fast as me, I'm using the power of editing here. Repeat the process with the carrots. Typically I would cut everything into similar sized cubes, but back in the day Babushka cut the carrots just like that, so yeah. I'll cut them like that for the sake of old times. After that we need to heat our broth. It was not enough, so I added a little bit of water too. You can add as much liquid as you want depending on how much sauce you want and how thick you want it to be. Add the veggies in so they can start cooking. I know, this starts a little bit like a soup. By the way, if you boil the vegetables and use the liquid, you actually preserve most of the water-soluble vitamins and you're not missing out on them. If you find this information useful, leave a like.
Бри, голям разбирач стана бе.
I'll let the veggies simmer until they start getting soft. Meanwhile, time to prepare the meatballs. Into your minced meat, add an egg. Add pepper and salt and start using your hand to mix everything well. Do that until you don't see any egg and it is fully incorporated into the meat. Add in a lot of summer savory and continue mixing. I prefer my hand as I want to feel the mixture, like Babushka used to say back in the day.
Па поне си запомнил нещо.
Add in some breadcrumbs, they will help our meatballs to remain whole when we throw them into the water. Mix until all the breadcrumbs are incorporated and the mixture is done. Leave it aside to rest for 10 minutes and start making the meatballs. For the meat not to stick to your hands, dip your hands in water before forming every meatball. By the way, this is a life changer. Try to do similarly sized meatballs so they can cook at the same rate. For a Slav, making the meatballs is some kind of an art and self-expression. Wash your hands and check the vegetables. They're doing quite fine, but they look quite lonely there. Add in the meatballs one by one. Make sure not to splash hot water on your hand, as I've heard from a friend that it may hurt.
Да бе, приятел, нали ти видях ръката.
Make place for each meatball, cover with the lid and leave them to simmer. And now it's time for the final step, preparing the yogurt sauce. In a bowl, add 2 eggs and salt, and we need to mix them until homogeneous. After they are mixed, add in 300 grams of yogurt and mix again. The final step, add in the flour, which would be 2 to 3 tablespoons, and mix until it looks like a thick pancake mixture. And at the end, add in some lemon juice. Be careful, as we don't want our sauce to taste sour. And yeah, you're done for now. Check if the vegetables and the meatballs are cooked. The most easy way is to see if they are soft. If so, it's time to unite the yogurt with the broth. This should be done very carefully by adding some of the broth to the yogurt mixed slowly with a ladle. This is made in order not to cook the eggs too fast. If you just pour it in, it will cook immediately and you won't have a nice soft sauce, but something full of egg parts.
Това ако го направиш правилно, този път няма да биеш чихала.
After you add 6 to 7 ladles while constantly mixing, return everything back in the pot, again slowly, and you should be constantly mixing all the time. Reduce the heat on the stove and leave it to simmer for 5 to 10 minutes on low temperature so the flour can cook. At the end, taste the sauce and fix the seasoning if needed. Mix again and leave it to bubble like that on very low heat for 5 to 10 minutes. Try it for the final time to make sure everything is okay. And we are done. A Slav difficulty level for today, I would say 3 or maybe 4 out of 5, and the only reason for that is the addition of the yogurt mixture. This is quite a tricky process, and even if I am doing it the same way every time, sometimes I fail. Also, there are quite a lot of steps like cutting a lot of vegetables, boiling them, preparing meatballs, sauces, etc. So I would say 4 out of 5 would be a safe bet. And for the final words, it's time to serve this thing. A good portion for a person is 3 meatballs and as much sauce as you want. Make sure to add from the vegetables too. Also make sure to enjoy it with some nice bread so you can dip into the sauce. Dipping into the sauce with white bread is a Slav's favorite thing maybe, so make sure to try it. The meatballs are nice, soft and juicy, and the sauce complements them really well. I bet that Babushka would be proud of this.
Абе става да ти кажа.
This was all from me, comrades. I hope you like these Slav style meatballs. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if so. Slav you next time.
Яш кьофте!